Welcome to the Sports Machine, Brian and Dean. November 9th. Great show lined up for you today. Of course, we're going to review all the NFL action, NFC, AFC. Also have NFL power rankings, along with college football. It's a football-filled show today.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Playoff rankings coming out in college. There was a mix-up with Texas A&M. We'll definitely have to get into that.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Also, as always, really though,
Somebody's got to get it.
somebody.
And the thing is we don't want to do it to them, but they do it to themselves. They do it to themselves, especially with my really though.
I can't say I'm being kind of strict on mine because it's probably the right call on mine, but I'm a little bit picky.
Yep.
As you know, NFL runs this country as of now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, yesterday was election day.
I don't even think they realized it. I didn't realize it. And don't ask me if I voted.
Sorry, this is not that kind of show.
Nope.
It's not that kind of movie.
Nope. We don't get down like that.
First, we'll lead off with the NFC. I guess we'll start with Thursday. Atlanta Falcons beat the Buccaneers 43-28. Matt Ryan looking like an MVP candidate. Is he your MVP?
He's up there. To be honest with you, he's top two. Between him and Brady and Zeke.
No Derek Carr?
You know what? He's right there. He's at 4. I'll give him that because, I mean, I know we're probably going to we'll touch more on about that in a minute when we get to the game, but most definitely, like, he's in the mix, man.
Mike Evans looked good for Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston looked good, but
Right.
Buccaneers don't have a solid defense, especially when they go up against an offense like the Falcons.
And the thing that sucks the most is they got rid of their defensive minded coach who was just starting to get that defense together. But oh well.
As I said, the NFL power rankings are coming up later in the show. I'm pretty sure the Falcons will be in our top 10.
Most definitely.
Going to Sunday, another team that'll probably be in our power rankings, the Cowboys, went up to Cleveland, handled business 35-10. Dak Prescott looks good. More controversy. Will Tony Romo be back as the starter?
I think I've given my take on what I think. I think, hey, Dak you don't have to rush Tony back. That's what got the Cowboys in so much trouble last year, was the fact that Cowboys didn't have a backup quarterback that could actually win some games for him to where Tony Romo had the time to heal properly. Now with Dak and the team going out winning and doing what they're doing, they actually have the luxury of saying, Tony, take your time. Because let's be for real, Tony Romo is a competitor. And in order to play in the pro level, you got to have a competitive spirit in order to last as long as, the Bradys, the Mannings, the Favres, Romos, the Breezes, anybody who's played more than 10 years in the league, you don't get to that level without having some type of, fire to you, like that competitive spirit. You know what I mean?
Ezekiel Elliott also looks good. Jason Witten got involved heavily in that game.
Right.
Like I said, they were playing the Browns. I'm not going to put too much stock into the game.
You know what's crazy about that, though, is because with the Cowboys, and we stop and think about it, there's 2 rookies right now playing for the Cowboys that's kind of fueling this run that they're on. But it's going to make the Rookie of the Year voting very interesting.
Yeah, I agree. It all depends. If Tony Romo comes back, you would think Zeke gets it.
Right. Barring, and let's knock on wood, barring injury from any of those guys.
Staying in the NFC East, the Giants and the Eagles battled. Giants come out on top at home, 28-23. Very close game. Carson Wentz has turned, he started out really well in not turning the ball over, but as of late, you can see that he is a rookie. He is human. He didn't play terrible.
Right.
He did throw 2 interceptions.
I think
Eli Manning threw 4 touchdowns.
Steve Spagnuolo's defense had him confused a lot, and he seems to be one of those guys who can make the adjustment. That's what I noticed about Carson Wentz. And the thing is, with him playing in the NFC East, where the Cowboys have to see him twice a year, you know, as a Cowboys fan, that bothers me knowing that, because it's like, okay, you won't be able to bring the same type of stuff that you brought the last game against this guy, because he's a intelligent quarterback, very intelligent quarterback, and he picks up on stuff quickly. And that's what you saw in that game right there, was that he picked up on what they was doing and was able to bring them back. One bad throw actually probably cost him from being able to win the game, when you look at the fade that he was trying to throw to the who was that? I think his name Williams. I could be wrong, but he was trying to throw to the fade route to the end zone to try to win in a game that, you know, just kind of turned the receiver inside out. It was Matthews. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I remember that play. Giants now moved to 5-3, the NFC East. You know, you have Dallas.
Right. Still, 2 games ahead?
7-1. Giants 5-3. Then you have the Redskins with the tie, 4-3-1.
Right.
And the Eagles 4-4. Looks like a very tough division.
Right.
Who do you think is number 2? Because obviously Dallas is certified as they're the leader of the division right now.
You know,
Redskins coming off a bye.
You know, to me, I still think I'm gonna go with the Redskins. Like, I don't know why. Like,
See, I went Josh just because of Eli.
right.
I know what Eli can do, especially if he gets into the playoffs. We all know what he does when he gets in there.
Most definitely. But for me, the reason why I chose the Redskins is because, you know, with Josh Norman on that team, like, I think it added a certain element to this team. I think, and we're starting to see like the impact that Josh Norman has on the team when you look at the way the Panthers are struggling without him, and actually how much better the Redskins defense looked with him. Like, that's what I took from it. That's what lets me know that this guy, he's an elite cornerback. The moment he left the one team that was a Super Bowl contender last year, the defense looks completely different without him. And over here in the Redskins, I mean, so long as Kirk Cousins doesn't turn into a gift basket, their defense will keep them in the game.
True that. I like the Redskins. I just like the Giants a little bit more off of experience level.
Right. I mean, they got some high-powered guys over there. I mean, they put a lot of money on the defensive line. Plus, let's not forget about the receivers. I mean, Sterling Shepard, rookie receiver, you know, he's going to be there for quite some time. He's going to be one of those guys who you have to game plan for. And it's funny because they drafted him looking to replace Victor Cruz, but Victor Cruz actually was able to come back and play. So it's like,
then, of course, you got OBJ.
Right.
Odell Beckham. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Odell Beckham, but he's real. Pac-Man Jones even said he's a freak.
Oh, yeah. Like, his speed is what's so trippy about him. It's like, he doesn't look like he's very fast until you see him just leaving guys. It's like, oh, don't let the camera eat you. Don't let the camera eat you. Ah, it ate him. Dang. Come on, dude. Like, that's all you can say to him. It's like, golly, dude is just fast, man. And his hands is the size of baseball mitts. I think that should be, he's one of those guys who shouldn't be allowed to wear gloves. Like, his hands, like, if you ever look at the size of his hands, it's like Rajon Rondo hands. If anybody who's listening seen Rajon Rondo hands, dude has to wear a double XL glove. It's a double extra large glove. 2X.
I'm going to move on to the NFC North. Did you see the Lions come back against the Vikings? Lions won 22-16 in overtime.
Oh, man.
The kicker?
Yeah.
58-yarder.
Exactly. Like, that's...
Vikings must have felt sick on that one.
And you know what? What sucks the most for that team, in my opinion, is the fact that, I mean, you lost Adrian Peterson. You lost your quarterback. You lost a few offensive linemen. They're an injury-riddled team. And then you turn around and you have your offensive coordinator just up and resign out of nowhere. A team that everyone was once looking at thinking that this is a Super Bowl contender team. Like, this is like the Vikings was like the team to beat.
They're skidding right now.
Yeah, in a worse way right now. And it's like,
see, Sam Bradford doesn't even look bad. It's just
so much going wrong for them. It's like you don't know when they're going to find up. Like, they're in a tailspin, and I don't think they know which way it's up.
With that, the Packers lost to the Colts 31-26 on the Packers side, because we're talking about the NFC. They're 4-4, just not consistent.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be Aaron Rodgers. His weapons are severely down from what they used to be.
And you know what's crazy about that, though?
And then their running back is a wide receiver.
Technically, yeah, pretty much. But you know what, though? Like, when we say Aaron Rodgers is going to be Aaron Rodgers, he hasn't been the Aaron Rodgers of last year or even that. But once again, I mean,
say he played well. I mean,
it could be me
297 yards
nitpicking.
and 3 touchdowns. I mean, the defense didn't do anything to help him. Colts scoring 31.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, you talk about a team that secondary is horrible. They're right there with the Pittsburgh Steelers as far as horrible defensive back play.
So if you look at this NFC North division, the Bears on the bottom. The Bears are irrelevant. I'm a Bears fan. I'm on Team Tank right now. The Vikings are leading 5-3. Then you have the Lions at 5-4. The Vikings skidding. It looks like the Lions are right up there with the Packers being 4-4. We might see a Matt Stafford led Lions team in the playoffs.
Hey, it's possible. I mean, let's be for real. They did make it to the playoffs one year, and then we all know about the whole Cowboys and Lions game and how that went, and the call that wasn't, So anyway,
Panthers looking to get back on track, beating the Los Angeles Rams 13-10. Everyone's screaming for Jared Goff still.
Yeah, and rightfully so, in my opinion. But my problem is that they barely have they have enough. They're having trouble protecting Case Keenum.
I mean, can't protect them. Running game not quite what we thought it was going to be with Todd Gurley. I mean, everyone knows. I mean, their weapons on the outside aren't good to me.
Right.
I mean, their best weapon's Tavon Austin,
who they just paid some extra money to, but
not a number 1 receiver. Probably not even a number 2 receiver, in my opinion.
Right. So, would you want to put a quarterback who's already fragile in college? Would you want to put a rookie quarterback like that behind that offensive line?
As they fall out of the race, it's almost pointless not to, though.
Right. I got you. I was curious about that because
y'all know I'm not a huge Jared Goff fan since last year in college.
Right.
But at the same time, you have to see what he has. Moving on, Saints beat the 49ers 41-23. Going against the 49ers, not a huge, doesn't mean much to me.
Yeah.
Just because it's the 49ers. But the Saints did come away with the victory. Drew Brees threw a couple of touchdowns to Michael Thomas, who had a good game.
Right. And starting as the season progresses.
I mean, the Saints are hot.
Right.
4 out of 5. The 4 wins out of the last 5 games.
Michael Thomas is slowly but surely starting to become that threat that Drew Brees felt like he was missing when they gave up Graham to go to Seattle. When they traded him, because let's not forget Jimmy Graham, another guy who's really big, and Michael Thomas is every bit of 6'4". And the thing is, he's 6'4" with some speed. And they have him playing in a slot.
The Seahawks are the last NFC team we're going to talk about. Good last game on Monday night. Won against the Bills, 31-25. Mr. Jimmy Graham, he finally
showed up and showed out.
He was on the back of a milk carton for a minute.
Yeah.
On one of them missing posters at Walmart.
Every time I go out, I got to show out.
Let's say Jimmy Graham has been found. He is in Seattle.
Yepers.
The only thing I have to mention about this game is the block kick.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, not the block. I mean, Richard Sherman, for those of you who didn't see, blocked the kick, called offsides. But he hit the ball. As he hit the ball, he hit the kicker. People thought it was dirty.
But if you paid attention to the video, Richard Sherman had a good point when he said he was going for the ball. But as he was going for the ball, the kicker still tried to make the kick. So it was like he kind of ran into it. Was an unfortunate event. I'm going to call it that. But at the same time, he was making a football play. And which is why I don't think the play was dirty.
I didn't think it was dirty.
Because at first, if you watch it at full speed or at first glance, you think, oh, dang, he went at him. But when they slow it down and then you see him lunging for the football and then the kicker still tries to do the follow through, which is, let's be for real, the kickers are taught that. The kickers are taught to still go with the follow through because if you get hit or knocked down, it could be a potential roughing or just a run into the kicker type of deal, which could either get you a first down or get you the automatic first down, depending on which one they call.
The Seahawks 5-2-1 are leading that division. Moving to the AFC side, the Browns, as we mentioned earlier, lost again, 0-9.
Yeah.
There's no hope.
No,
It looks like they're going to get the first pick of the draft. The only wonder now is, are they going to win the game?
but if they
I think they'll win the game. I mean, they're not that bad.
if they get the first pick of the draft, everybody's going to want them to pick Clemson.
They're getting with Deshaun Watson.
Right. Everybody wants them to grab Deshaun Watson, but
I mean, some people are mentioning the boy Kelly out of Ole Miss, who I think is out for the year now.
yeah. Chad Kelly,
Yeah.
Jim Kelly's nephew or something like that.
There's been some mentions about him moving up in the draft board.
But my deal with that is when you look at Cleveland real quick, their problem is no different from LA. You can't protect your quarterback. So do you want Deshaun Watson? You can pick him up, but what else can you really do with them? Roll him out the pocket from time to time. Either way, he's going to be in harm's way. All three of your quarterbacks have gotten hurt this season because of lack of being able to protect them. So my question is, with the first pick of the draft, where are you going to go? Like,
Oh, you get a quarterback.
you grabbing a quarterback?
You have no choice.
Because even with one of the best left tackles in the game, they still can't protect the quarterback.
I mean,
And
the
let's be
offensive
real.
line is composed of 5.
Right. So yeah. So my deal is maybe you trade back again. And if you trade back again, kind of conjure up a couple of offensive line.
That's hard to sell to the Cleveland fans to me.
Oh, shoot. If it's hard to sell, you give them a reason to buy. Okay, look what happened. Week 1, this is RG3. This is McCown a couple of weeks later. This is Kessler right here. Let's not forget the dude
still
that
trying
had
to-
about 3 concussions already.
They're still trying to sell Cleveland fans on why they passed up on Carson Wentz when he down there in Philadelphia putting up numbers.
Yeah, but my deal
hard to
is
sell.
could Carson Wentz put up the numbers behind his offensive line?
Can't nobody put up numbers.
Straight up.
Tom Brady had problems.
Straight up.
Moving on, staying in the division.
He said Tom Brady's had problems.
He would have problems. Y'all know he sees ghosts. I'm a Tom Brady fan. Ravens beat the Steelers. Bolson at 4-4 now. Ravens with the victory, 21-14. Ben Roethlisberger has been known to struggle on his first game back. Are the Ravens gearing up to try to sneak their way into this division battle? I mean, I think technically they lead the division now.
Right. The Ravens, after winning so many games straight, they turn around and lost 4 games straight before they actually got this win. So I'm looking at them as an inconsistent team and for the first time, I think we can actually sit back and say that we can sit back and ask the question, what's the Ravens' identity right now? Because we don't know what this team's identity. For a long time, we've always known them to be the
Defense.
bullies of the NFL when it came to their defense and being able to, run the ball, establish some type of dominance. Like, you knew what you was getting when the Ravens came into town. You was getting some hardcore football.
Ray Rice is still seen in free agency.
Hey, they ain't been the same since.
He said he's still willing to try out. Like, he's been keeping himself in football shape.
So that's my problem.
I still think the Steelers are ahead in the division. Even the Bengals, who sit at, I think, 3-4-1.
Right.
I still think they have a better shot. But I
Right.
think it's interesting that the Ravens still in it,
Yep.
even though they had that skid. The Chiefs beat the Jaguars 19-14. The Chiefs now 6-2 and almost unbeatable at home. It seems like 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how I feel about the Chiefs. They're in the tough division
Right.
between the Raiders and the Broncos.
And the thing is, if I'm not mistaken, they're 6-2?
Yes, they're 6-2.
And it's crazy because the few times I've had the opportunity to watch the team play, you wouldn't think that they were 6-2. Like, when I like
say they do not look like a 6-2 team. Like
Right.
that's why I don't really believe in them.
Right.
As heavily. It's like later on in the power rankings, they probably gonna be on the list, but they're gonna be that team. I feel like,
a question mark.
because the staying in the division Sunday night game, the Raiders beat the Broncos 30-20. Raiders 7-2 now. Broncos 6-3.
Right.
Trevor Siemian looks good. Doesn't look like he's exceptional by any stretch of the
He looks like a bus driver.
But yes, and that's all they need. They have a good defense.
Right. Just don't turn the ball over.
But the Raiders have Derek Carr, playmaker. Amari Cooper, playmaker. Latavius Murray can get the job done on the offensive end. Michael Crabtree also could get the job done. The defense can be sketchy at times.
But showed up and showed out this past
Yes,
Sunday
he did.
night.
So I like the Raiders.
Oh, most definitely. You know, and this is what I was finna touch on there when we was talking about this discussion between the is Derek Carr like in the rookie? Is he off in the MVP discussions? My deal is that the league seems a lot better, and it's going to seem like a bit one-sided. For one, when the Cowboys is winning, the league seems a bit better.
Plus the Raiders now
Exactly.
This year. Yeah, the Cowboys and the Raiders both have 7 wins so far.
Exactly. And they both look good. And so my point is, if you're Oakland and you see what you see right now, you have your Warriors. Whatever you do, do not make the same mistake that Seattle did with the Sonics. At the time they let the Sonics walk away was at the time they was just starting to come up at the time where Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook was starting to come into their own. And a couple of years later, where were they at? NBA Finals for the first time.
Oh, just to get the NBA part of the show, the Thunder still look good.
Right, most definitely. And so that's my point. Keep the Raiders in Oakland. Don't let Las Vegas steal your team right as they're starting to get good. You've been with that team since they've been down and out for quite some time. I don't think that city should just let them walk away. Give them what they need.
The Dolphins beat the Jets 27-23. The Dolphins now sit at 4-4. Look good at home. They're 4-1 at home.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets starting to get more and more frustrated with Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Jay Ajayi looks good for the Dolphins.
Right.
There's not much to say about the Jets to me.
I
know what they are.
Right.
Offense struggles. Basically look like what it looked like when Rex Ryan was there. No offense to Todd Bowles.
You know, and exact like they're getting poor quarterback play. They have a talented team. When you really sit back and look at them, like from an offensive standpoint, you know, you have Decker on the outside, but I'm not sure. I think he's out. Is he out for the season? I think didn't he have season-ending surgery? But once again, if you just look at him on paper, no injury. You got an established running back in Matt Forte who can do it.
Matt Forte still looks good.
Right. He can run and catch out the backfield. You have a big-time weapon in Brandon Marshall. You also have a solid number 2 receiver in Decker over there. And like you said before, in the defense, one thing we can say about the Jets, since Rex Ryan, they've always had a pretty solid defense.
Yes.
And so now when you sit back and you look at them, it's like, all right, where's the glaring flaw with this team? It's the quarterback position. I always have been.
Oh, you know what they're gonna pick
always
this
will
year.
be right
They're
now.
gonna pick whoever's remaining.
Right.
Most likely. If there's anybody remaining.
Right.
Which is unfortunate for them because they might win too many games. That's why I'm telling the Bears to chill out with the wins.
say we're gonna miss out on a little bit of everybody.
The Chargers beat the Titans 43-35. The Chargers, as long as they have Phillip Rivers, Melvin Gordon's starting to come into his own.
Right.
I'm never gonna count him out, but like I said, that division is just so hard.
So difficult, right?
I don't really see him getting a comeback, but I like Phillip Rivers. I like Melvin Gordon. I don't want to see him go to LA and share it. No.
You know,
Please don't.
Right.
Because they're talking about today.
Right. Because I think Tuesday was the vote day for that team, if I'm not mistaken, for San Diego to try to keep them in San Diego. And I hope they stay in San Diego as well. No different from how you heard how I felt about the Raiders stand in Oakland. But
I just wish they don't go to LA. Don't share that. I hate sharing. The Colts beat the Packers 31-26. Talked about that in NFC part of things. The Colts up and down.
Right.
Luckily, they're in a division that's very winnable.
It's a situation where Andrew Luck just doesn't get the protection that he needs, and then his questionable turnovers at times.
And then the Texans lead that division. We're on bye. And as we mentioned, the Bills lost to the Seahawks 31-25. Another up and down team, a Rex Ryan team. Tyrod Taylor looks good. LaShawn McCoy doesn't look bad. It's just something about Rex Ryan offenses. And to be honest, their defense didn't really show up either. So
That's why I was so surprised with Rex Ryan when he took the job, because everybody had Rex Ryan slated and picked for Atlanta. It was like, hey, if he goes to Atlanta, he already has an established offense. You already have an established offense. Now you get to actually build a defense. Do what you do, which is build up a defense, make them competitive, get them to buy into what you do. And that would have been a better situation. But, he chose Buffalo, staying in the same division.
say Buffalo doesn't look good right now, especially in a
They was
division
looking to
with the
get help from
Patriots.
Percy Harvin. And I ain't dissing. No, I ain't dissing. If you sit back and listen, that's what the Buffalo Bills is missing. A solid receiver now.
Say, man. Give me a headache. Moving on. That was the NFL, NFC, and AFC recap. Let's get into the power rankings for the NFL.
Yes, sir.
Get up our top 10. I think we have two teams that are 7-1, and then we have another team that's 7-2. That would be the Patriots, the Cowboys, and the Raiders, all with 7 victories. I have the Patriots number 1 just because they haven't lost with Tom Brady yet.
Right.
Then I have the Cowboys number 2.
Me too. And then I got the Raiders coming in number 3.
Yeah, and I have the Raiders at 3.
Okay, so we agree on them. All right.
So as I said, the Patriots, the defense looks good to me. I don't see anything as bad as it has been. And
Right.
then I see as the Cowboys go on, their only problem is, do they give Tony Romo a shot when he comes back, or do they keep Dak Prescott? I think they put Tony Romo in when he comes back. And Ezekiel Elliott looks good. And then the Oakland Raiders, their only problem is their defense. But when you have an offense that they have, they can overcome it.
Sometimes all you need is the defense you ain't got to make all the stops if they can't make all the stops. But if you could just get a key stop at a key point in time, you'd be surprised.
And this is probably where power rankings, different people's power rankings start to differ. It's after the top 3.
Right.
My number 4 team is the 6-3 Falcons. I like the Falcons offense. They're kind of like the Raiders, in
Right.
my opinion.
Right.
Defense, you can be skeptical of. Offense, as long as they don't turn the ball over and they don't go forward on a 4th and 1 on their own side of the territory in overtime.
Right.
They have Devontae Freeman. They have Coleman. They have Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu. There's
Right.
really no big problem in their offense. Offensive line, not the best.
You know
but
what's crazy to me though, is how big of it. I think we're starting to see how big of an impact Mohamed Sanu had on Cincinnati since he's
you
been
need
gone.
that second guy.
Right. Like
You really do.
And like he was a solid second guy, and all he's doing is showing that he's a solid second guy.
It's kind of
in
like
Atlanta.
Anquan Bolden was.
Right.
Anquan Bolden's never going to be a great first guy, but next to Larry Fitzgerald,
He's perfect.
next to another number 1 guy, he's a great ad. Is that who you had number 4?
Just that I actually have Seattle at number 4.
All right.
I got Seattle at number 4, then Atlanta coming in after that.
I have the Chiefs actually at 5 at 6-2, just because I felt like I had to. I have to give them credit for winning.
Right.
And then I have Seattle at 5-2-1 at the 6th spot in my power rankings.
I got
For
Denver.
some reason, I'm not sold on Seattle.
I see. My deal is I know we see what's wrong with Russell Wilson. Like, he basically had a knee sprain and an ankle sprain in the same doggone week.
I'm not even I'm not worried about Russell Wilson. I'm not even worried about their weapons. I'm worried about that running game and
Right.
how that's looked since Marshawn Lynch has left.
Yeah.
People
But-
can say what they want about Marshawn Lynch, but you could see that people thought he was just gonna be replaced easily. Oh, we got Mike. We got all these running backs that we thought were gonna be good. Okay, you thought they were gonna be good, but
I think they're missing like who's that? Thomas Rawls. I think that's his
I
name.
don't think
I see.
not sold.
But see,
I wasn't
I
sold
can
on
understand that because like he's hurt, he's injured out. Like he hasn't shown
say
he's
he's
a
hurt.
durable running back. But when he's been on the field for him, he's actually looked pretty doggone good from what I've saw. And another thing is, I think the reason why their run game is suffering a bit is because of the fact that Russell Wilson is hurt. Like he's not able to scramble and do a lot of things that he's normally able to do because, let's be for real, the guy's not healthy.
See, I agree with that. Number 7, I have the Denver Broncos at 6-3. As I said, Trevor Siemian, great bus driver.
Mhm.
Running game is good. Could be better.
Right.
They have weapons on the outside that can get things done. And the defense is one of the best in the league.
Right.
They proved that last year. And I haven't seen anything this year to just... Obviously, I don't think they're quite as good as they were last year, but they still top.
Right. For me, I brought in the Kansas City Chiefs.
I can see that.
I brought in Kansas City Chiefs, and once again, it's just for me. I expected more from this team, like especially when I look at them on paper, and when I look at just off of what they done last year, how they started and how they finished. I thought to myself, man, when this team gets Jamal Charles back, I mean, this team's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. But then again, it's like I said before, they're a strange 6-2 team.
Yes.
Like they're strange.
They don't look like a 6-2 team. Like I said, the only reason I put them there is because I felt like I had to because they keep winning.
Right.
I feel like as this division starts to unfold, they will probably be in the 3rd spot.
Right. Right.
But I did have them ranked ahead of the Broncos just based on record. But I do think the Broncos are probably better.
Right.
In my 8th spot, because there's a lot of teams I don't believe in, I have the 5-3 New York Giants. Second team in NFC East to pop up on my power rankings. I like Eli Manning.
Mm-hmm.
I've liked him for the majority of his career. I know he takes chances. He could be a gift basket sometimes.
Right.
But his weapons are undeniable. And because of those weapons, it opens up a run game.
Mm-hmm.
And the defense isn't just terrible. And the fact that they beat Philadelphia showed me that they could be for real.
Right.
And they held on to that victory at the end.
Right.
Which is what I give the defense more credit for.
I'm actually bringing in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Once again, mainly
I
because
understand because Ben Roethlisberger was hurt.
Right.
But
He's hurt and then he came back, and I mean, once again, and the thing is like seeing that horrible performance that team had, it only makes me afraid for my Dallas Cowboys when they go into Pittsburgh this week, because you talk about a team that's looking to rebound against another historic franchise that, you know, has had a little bit of bad blood between the two. Even though they don't play in the same division, it's not a natural rivalry. But every team that plays the Cowboys, you know, they go out there and they put their best. Like, it's almost like a Super Bowl game for them. And so, coming off a horrible performance, and now you got the Cowboys coming up next. Who better than to, you know, establish dominance than the Cowboys, who are reeling right now?
I don't believe in Pittsburgh. I don't even have them on my list.
You don't?
I don't like them. Even with Ben Roethlisberger healthy. And Ben Roethlisberger never seems like he's healthy anymore. Which is part of the reason why I don't believe in him. Because their defense is not what it once used to be. Number 9, I have another team from the NFC East. I'll take the Washington Redskins.
I actually have the New York Giants there. Yeah. I got the Giants in there.
I like the fact that Kirk Cousins can get the job done. I like Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
They seem a little inconsistent at times.
Right.
But like I said, there's a lot of teams I don't believe in this year in the
Right.
NFL.
Right. See, for me though, like they always have the weird thing about that team is that they have a little bit of a running back committee, but to me, it's always about can the quarterback get the ball to his safety blanket, and that's to the tight end. Like they got one of the best tight ends in the game, but they haven't been able to get him the ball as often as we think he should this year on a consistent basis.
Number 10. Will it be another NFC East team to get all the NFC East in my top 10? Nah. I couldn't do it. I couldn't put Philadelphia in there. But I do have the Detroit Lions at 5-4.
I agree.
They're leading the division.
I agree.
And say what you want, but Matthew Stafford is getting it done without Calvin Johnson.
He's actually putting up better numbers without
Maybe
him.
it's because he's not forcing it.
Right.
Because to be honest, I saw that a little bit with Dak when he had that stretch where he finally threw an interception and he was having that bad game.
Right.
I was like, Des Bryant's back and he's trying to force the ball to Des Bryant.
Right. Trying to get it to the main guy.
Sometimes it's just better to spread it around. And I
Right.
think Matthew Stafford might be that kind of quarterback where he needs good wide receivers, but he doesn't need the exceptionally good wide receiver that always has his hand up.
Right. Right.
Not to mention that their run game is not very good, which is why I think Matthew Stafford, more than Sam Bradford, probably deserves MVP.
It's crazy because we both have the Vikings out.
The Vikings, they don't look good anymore.
Right. I said
To
you
be
just
honest,
lost the
even with-
offensive coordinator. Then the injuries. It's just like you talk about a team coming across. You talk about a team that's kind of. It seems like they're snake bit. Like that's a snake bit team.
I don't believe in them anymore. I believe it'll be either the Lions or it'll be the Packers to win that division.
Right.
Personally,
And that's the team. The Packers is the team that I have on the outside looking in. Like they're at 11 for me, despite the loss. Because like you said before, you got an MVP.
my team would probably be Pittsburgh because I know what Ben Roethlisberger can do,
Right.
and it's not like their run game struggles. It's not like they have a run game. Switching it up just a little bit. Staying in football, go on the college side of things, doing the college football recap. It was a big week in college football for one reason. I'll just lead it off straight with the most important game. Mississippi State beat Texas A&M 35-28.
Ah man, they just couldn't hold it. They couldn't hold water. And
Boom.
I'm a devious guy. I'm not gonna lie. For those of you who know me, I'm a devious dude. And for me, I really wanted Texas A&M to win all the way out because if they took them out of the top, power rankings, I wanted to hear their reason why. Because you put that team ahead of an already undefeated team.
For no reason.
Well,
Like
their
with-
reason
I don't want to hear strength of schedule. The SEC's not that strong. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of the SEC stigma. They're not that strong.
besides the top
Besides
two
Alabama.
teams, right?
Not even the top two, just Alabama.
Yeah,
Because this is what I heard about the Big Ten. The top two schools are good, but the rest of them are not. Okay, so you're not counting Wisconsin as a good school,
right,
Nebraska,
right.
You're not counting them schools, but you're gonna count Texas A&M, who got blown out by Alabama,
If I'm not mistaken, Penn State,
and you're gonna count Auburn, who is so inconsistent, it's ridiculous.
right? Penn State is a
Penn
big
State.
team. Yeah,
To say they're not counting them schools, but you're gonna count these random
which is
schools.
actually
y'all
pretty
have
doggone.
Vanderbilt.
The Big Ten is actually a lot deep when you start throwing out the teams that play there and where they're ranked at. They're actually that's actually a pretty doggone deep Power 5 conference.
You're gonna count LSU, who came and scored a point against Alabama. Alabama did beat LSU 10-0.
And for a while, like the defense showed up.
Like I
LSU's
said, it
defense
was
showed
0-0
up
for a long time.
till the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
I was surprised about how good LSU actually did on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe Jalen Hurts would be able to do a little bit more.
That was a running back playing quarterback. He had over 20 rushes for like 100 yards, over 100 yards.
Let's see, he had more yards rushing than he did passing. He
Right.
had 114 rushing, 107 passing.
that was a halfback playing quarterback.
Yes.
Because he had what? How many rushes did he have? Like over 20, right? 21, 22?
Yeah, he had 20 right up, I think.
Right at 20?
Yeah, 20.
Yep. That's halfback numbers, man.
Oh, yes. Most
halfback
definitely.
numbers. Halfback numbers. But can't bash him, though, because like Alabama's never had that kind of element to their quarterback. And to
That's
think you
true.
got, and to think that's a true freshman. So you have another 2 years of seeing that.
And that great Auburn team that the SEC likes to throw around beat Vanderbilt 23-16 in a close game.
Yeah.
Because, Vanderbilt's such a great school because they're in the SEC.
I thought Vandy was a basketball.
They're not even good at basketball anymore.
Well,
They just... I'm not sure what they could. They might be good at baseball. I don't know. Nebraska got dominated by Ohio State.
that was
62-3.
the one thing I took away from that game was not only like that they got dominated, but did you see the way the quarterback's head bounced out the ground? I was thinking to myself, I was like, wow, like that was a horrible look. Like, especially when he wasn't moving on the ground, like he was knocked out. But then he came back later on in the fourth quarter. I was like, golly, dude, like
We can only hope concussion protocol works.
exactly, because that was like, wow.
Say we will get into the college playoff ranking up in our next segment, so I'm not gonna mention too much about Ohio State and where this puts them.
Right.
I will mention Michigan blew out Maryland 59-3, much as expected. Did
Right.
what they were supposed to do.
Right. Most definitely.
Clemson blew out Syracuse 54-0. A lot of blowouts this week. Like I said, Texas A&M losing to Mississippi State was the biggest game, just because of where the college football playoff decided that Texas A&M deserved to be there because the SEC
Right.
and all that good
Right.
stuff.
Also a big surprise. The TCU game. TCU Baylor.
Oh yes, TCU did work.
Yo, they put in some major work.
Just when you think TCU falls off, I think that's a little bit of a get back from a few years.
Yeah, from that, because
They lost to Baylor, so neither one got in.
straight
Neither
up,
one y'all get into the college
exactly.
football playoff, so
Neither
they're like,
one of
you
them.
ain't. Nope.
Neither one.
I'm just glad Baylor was undefeated going into that game because that probably would have made a lot of people mad.
Mm-hmm.
Florida, another SEC school that's supposed to be really good, lost to Arkansas 31-10.
West Virginia.
I stopped mentioning the Big 12. I can't believe in the Big 12 anymore.
Yeah, not
They are,
as of right
West
now.
Virginia looks like they had the best shot, and then when they went to Oklahoma State and just,
Laid an egg.
I just gave up on the
Laid
Big
an
12
egg.
altogether.
They went in there and laid an egg. At the moment, the lights was at its brightest. They shied away from it.
Say West Virginia did beat Kansas 48-21, but that is Kansas.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, Kansas is 0-6 in the Big 12.
I can't. When's the last time they even won a division game? It's been forever.
I swear it has.
But then the basketball team comes around and be like, oh, yeah, where y'all at now? Where you at
Oh,
now?
yeah. I think their preseason rank is 3.
Oh, yeah, shout out to that, because you said that's kicking off this week, right?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely kicking
yeah.
off.
Oh, yeah.
Next week, you have Duke, preseason rank number 1, playing Kansas, preseason rank number 3 on the 15th. That's going to be a good game.
Right off the bat. Ooh. Nice.
Yes. And that's one thing I like about college basketball. Early on season games, like, they get some good games. I mean, not all their games is good because sometimes they will play a random school that you never heard of.
Right. Like Ashmore or something. And that's just, I'm just threw a name
Hey,
out
if I
there.
say Asheville makes the tournament regularly.
Yeah.
Back to college football. Washington, some people thought they might slip up against California. They did not. They put up 66.
Handled Cal easy.
Boy, Jake Brown put up 6 touchdowns. I bet people were waiting for him to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else people were waiting for people to come out is Lamar Jackson. Looking
Oh,
like
yeah.
the next Michael Vick. Put up 7 touchdowns against Boston College. Louisville winning 52-7.
Should they just go ahead and hand him the Heisman Trophy?
We thought that last year with Leonard Fournette. That's the only reason I haven't said it, because I feel like I jinxed Leonard Fournette last year.
Yeah.
I feel like I jinxed him, but I do believe Lamar Jackson pretty much has it in hand.
I have my thoughts about Leonard Fournette this year.
That boy just waiting to make it to the NFL, man.
Yeah,
Just let him-
exactly. That's what that
He's just
is.
trying to make it to the NFL.
And at this moment in time, he's like, I don't care if he's a first round pick. He's a first round pick running back, but now he's just trying to figure out, hey, if I throw up too big of a numbers, I don't want to go to Cleveland.
He's not gonna go to Cleveland. They picking a quarterback. He has no. Maybe the Chicago.
He don't want to go. He don't want to go to any of them teams up there. But he's like, hey, if I could just so happen get picked up by
The
Seattle,
only problem with picking a running back now to me is the last few running backs have been good. Melvin Gordon's finally coming to his own. Todd Gurley looks good. Some running backs look good, but this year the Bears have Howard, who looks like the real deal. Ezekiel Elliott looks good, early on pick, but the boy Howard picked in the 6th round.
Exactly.
And he put up numbers at Indiana, so I don't know why people are surprised.
Right.
That's the only problem with me picking a running back early is you always seem to find a running back late.
Mm-hmm.
In every draft, it seems like you can find one. That's the only reason why I'm not completely sold on that. Now, into the bigger talk, the college football playoff. Their rankings is, of course, they have Alabama number 1, Clemson number 2, Michigan number 3, and Washington number 4. And Texas A&M fall all the way down to 8.
I'm surprised they're even still in the top 10.
Well, they are. So is Auburn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though they barely won against Vanderbilt. And Auburn's number 9.
They pushing hard for them, huh? Pushing
I'm
hard.
just tired of SEC. I don't want to hear anything about the SEC. Nothing. About their strength of schedule. Because they knock each other off.
Right.
It's funny how Alabama doesn't knock each other off. They just win every week.
Mm-hmm.
In my college football playoff ranking, how I would have it, I would have Alabama number 1. Just because they're there every year.
Right.
You have to give them their props.
Not to mention they're undefeated last year champ.
So that's all I'm saying. It's like until they lose,
they should stay there.
It's hard. It's hard to say.
And that was my knock a couple of years back with Florida State. They had won it and then turned around and got there. They kept out of all the teams, they kept getting shifted around. 1 minute they were 4, next minute they were 2. It was just like, golly, come on now. Like, enough's enough.
And as to me, the seeding this year matters almost more than ever because if Washington wins out, it looks like they're going to be the 4th spot.
Right.
I have them 4. ESPN has them 4.
Uh-huh.
The college football playoff ranking has them at 4. So whoever gets number 1 goes against the pack. 12 champion, which would be the Washington, as long as they don't slip up. They do play USC.
Right.
Hopefully we get to do some picks
later
on this week.
Right.
That could be a tough game. USC looks good as of late.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they didn't look good early on, but they look all right as of late. Top 25 team now at number 20. So, you think Alabama would just blow out Washington? Or do you think it would be close?
You know what?
Because I think they would blow out. Like, a lot of people think, oh, Washington's a good matchup because they have passing, and that's Alabama's weakness. I think just because of that, Alabama will blow them out.
But see, that's my deal right there. Like, I'm actually at a question mark when it comes to that. Why? Because every time I've been able to watch the Washington games, they've always been blowouts. Like, I haven't actually seen them struggle. I haven't watched any of their games that they watched.
Utah game, they kind of struggled when they played Utah.
Right. But see, we've kind of seen Alabama actually have to
win
in a dogfight. Like,
yes.
We've seen them have to win ugly. We've seen the same thing with Clemson. We've seen them have to win ugly. Michigan, they've had a test early in the first half, but as far as a full game of actually,
Now, I would like to mention, like, people could sit here and try to downfall. Like, I'm kind of being a homer a little bit with Michigan, but they did play Wisconsin,
right, and gave them the business.
And they won 14-7. It was close.
Right.
They should have won by more because
their defense was what?
They missed 3 field goals. It wasn't really close. Like, Michigan won all the stats, but because they missed 3 field goals, it looked like a close game.
Right.
They played Penn State, who is proven to beat
Oh yeah.
a good team.
Right.
And they also beat Colorado, who is proven to be a good team. And if you don't think these teams are good, Wisconsin's ranked 7 now. Penn State is ranked 10.
Right.
And Colorado's ranked 12.
Right.
So,
they
to me, their
actually
strength
played
of
some
schedule
top ranked teams.
is top, which is why I have Michigan 2 and Clemson 3, even though it really doesn't matter because they're going to play on a neutral field against each other anyway.
Right.
So
right.
whether you rank them 2 or 3 really doesn't matter.
And like you said, for the thing that sucks the most is the fact that Michigan and Ohio State they're going to have their game late, and one of those teams are not going to be able to make it in the playoff.
Which is why this segment's going to go longer. Because that's consensus top 4: Alabama, Clemson, Michigan, and Washington. That's the consensus top 4 for you, right?
Right.
Everybody
Like, it made sense to me last week when they
they're
first
all
done it, but they
all
put Texas
undefeated.
A&M in the mix, and I was like, okay, Texas A&M needs to win all the way out, but it didn't work out that way. It balanced itself out. So
Even if they went all the way out, I don't think there's any way.
yeah, but you know,
they would have changed it at the end somehow because they want to make
and
it
made some
interesting.
pathetic excuse because like you said, how they did with TCU and Baylor that one time. It was like, well, we picked this team because of this guy, but at the end of the day, it was like, if you're gonna put a team there, you can't just take them out and say and try to use the same strength of schedule or they struggled against this team or against this point. You can't use that, in my opinion, because you shouldn't have put them there to begin with over an already undefeated team.
This is why I like to say the college football playoff ranking people.
Say it again. Say something else. Oh, say something else. Say something else.
Just say something. Like, we know this is about money.
Right.
They're trying to make it entertaining.
Right.
Because this year it looks incredibly boring. Well, I know why it looks incredibly boring because I don't see anybody beating Alabama, Clemson, or Washington the rest of this year. The only team that has a chance to lose is Michigan. That's because they play Ohio State.
Right.
And we know the winner of that will most likely be
Get in. Right.
So it looks very uninteresting. All right, so how do we fix that? Let's throw the second best SEC school in here.
Right.
Because we think that's the strongest conference instead of a weak conference, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard for me to say that conference is extra weak because I think Utah's pretty good.
Right.
I don't see any problem with Utah. And they beat Utah.
Right. And Utah is sitting at 7-2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're ranked 15th.
Right.
So I don't think they're necessarily all that weak. Washington State's ranked top 25. Colorado ranked top 25. So to me, I don't think they're that weak. But if you do that, it makes it interesting. Like, oh, who's going to get in? Like, but they don't know the undefeated team's going to get in.
Does Louisville have a chance at cracking the top 4?
I ranked my ranking all the way up to 6. My first 2 out. I had Louisville 5 and Ohio State 6, actually.
Right.
Just because of Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Because to me, the college football playoff ranking would be if they had to choose between Ohio State and Louisville, they would choose Louisville. Why? Because they have Lamar Jackson.
Right.
What's more interesting? JT Barrett, who's struggling this year.
Right.
To me, he's struggling. I mean, he's not doing terrible.
Right.
But he's struggling compared to the standards that he's
He,
set.
yeah. That first year
He's not doing what Lamar Jackson's doing.
Right.
They rather see Lamar Jackson, especially if they get in that 4th spot and they get to go against Alabama. You want to see Alabama play Lamar Jackson? Of course you do.
Right.
I want to see it.
You want to see how they're going to stop. How can you stop a phenomenon
To
like
me,
that?
if you were going to put a team at 4, why would it be Texas A&M? Why wouldn't it be Louisville?
Right.
That would be way more interesting anyway.
See, and that's the thing is, like, I wouldn't have been upset had they put Louisville
Had they put
there.
Louisville or Ohio State, I'd
Right.
probably be
'Cause,
like,
you,
all right.
your only loss on your record is to the number 2 team at that
Exactly.
time, who was AP poll at the time.
Plus, it'd be more. We already seen Texas A&M play Alabama. We saw what happened.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Right.
It was not pretty for anybody. I wanted to throw up when I looked at the score.
Especially because everybody thought Trevor Knight was going to pull a Johnny Manziel and take over the game, and it was like, you know what, we got a guy over here who can do the same thing. So what you thought about doing us, we're going to do to you, and completely just snatch the soul from you like Shane Toussaint or something.
So to me, I think I want Washington to lose selfishly because I want to see Lamar Jackson.
Right.
I do. I want to see Lamar Jackson go to the NFL to see if he can do what Mike Vick did.
Right.
Can he overcome that stigma of you have to be a pass first, or can you be a rush first quarterback?
If I'm not mistaken, didn't he score 7 total touchdowns?
Yeah, this week, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said before, when I asked you this question earlier, it's like, should they just go ahead and hand that guy the Heisman Trophy. Like, because I know I see what Michigan's trying to do with
Drew Pepper.
Yeah, I
He's
see
the
what they're
only one
trying
that
to do.
like. It had it been any other years, I would be on Pepper's bandwagon. But what
Right.
Lamar Jackson's doing is it's incredible.
Right. Ain't seen.
I haven't
Ain't been seen in quite
That's what I'm saying. Like
in forever. Like you said, since Mike Vick. That's the
Mike
only thing
Vick
you
done
think
tweeted
about.
saying he's doing better than what I did in college.
Right.
And
He
you know
looks
that
way
means
better than I
something.
do. Right. Right.
I don't think Lamar Jackson's gonna be a good enough passer to be in the NFL, but running wise and being able to pass good enough to be in the NFL, I think so.
Right. He's the type of project that most coaches would want to have. It's like if I can get this guy
Oh,
to
I'm
be
taking- I don't
have
care.
any type of an arm, I'll take him.
I don't care. I'll take him. I'll take the risk. I will run the risk of whatever it is. I'll take him on the bear. I wish he could go into the draft this year.
Sophomore, right?
Yeah.
So you on Team Tank for the Bears for next season? If they
if they can't get one this year, I wish they would wait actually now.
It's like, hey, we're gonna wait. We're gonna get the kid.
But I don't think they finished the worst in the league. Because to me, he is number one pick. He's that type of player. As
Right.
long as nothing happens next year to prove
Right.
otherwise.
True story.
Dude from Washington looks good too, though.
Yeah.
It's time though.
Really though. Really though. Really though.
Things in sports make you say,
Really though.
really though? Who would you like to go first today?
I believe I went first last week, so I'll give you the floor.
All right. I'll do it. I'm really done with some refs from the Sacramento Kings and the New Orleans Pelicans game on Tuesday, as the two teams were forced to replay the end of the second quarter after halftime. They went through, did a rest. They rested up at halftime. Thought they were going to start the third quarter. That was a no-go. We're going to have to run back and play the last 18.9 seconds of the second quarter with DeMarcus Cousins on the free throw line, nullifying 2 points scored by the Pelicans.
Right.
Because the Pelicans had scored 2 points in that 18.9 second span. So they took that off the board and put Cousins on the free throw line because they caught at halftime that they had miscounted how many team fouls New Orleans had against the Sacramento Kings.
Wait, what?
Yes. As Solomon Hill fouled DeMarcus Cousins, he should have been on the line because they would have been in the bonus, but because they miscounted, they just played on, and Etwan Moore had scored for the Pelicans. Cousins made both free throw attempts, and the Pelicans, Langston Galloway had missed a three-pointer, changing the halftime score to 53-46. It wasn't a big deal. No, it's not a big deal. You gotta be kidding me. Really though?
Right.
Y'all gonna replay? I've never heard of that before. Have you ever heard of them replaying time?
No, hey.
Taking points off the board that were there and saying, nope, we're replaying that. Bring that back.
Right.
Bring
That-
it back.
See that the moment you was telling me about this, I was like, wait a minute, like, wait.
That brings my gift basket of the week
Here comes Santa
to
Claus.
them refs giving the Kings some free points after they
Straight
already
up.
screwed up.
Straight
You
up.
know, what kind of professionalism is this? I expect more out of the NBA. People already think y'all might be rigged. Just gonna put that out there with the Donahues and stuff. Y'all can't have incidents like this going down.
Oh,
It sure go.
my radio is. I was kind of conflicted, just a bit, but I came to a conclusion that my radio is going to go to the. I'm not sure if she's girlfriend, Kayla Carpenter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Wife of Bill's kicker, who basically just came out on Twitter and said
This
that.
is more lighthearted than your other one.
Yeah, like
The other
you know,
option.
Right. It's like, okay, we got one making inappropriate comments to a little teenager. And
John Cena, by the way.
yes.
You
And
can look it up.
then we go from there, and then we got a woman just basically talking about castrating her brother.
And
And
two
I-
very bad scenarios.
Exactly. And that's my problem with the issues, because, like, okay, had this been anybody else, NFL player talking about this or anything like that, he's getting ate up. We gave Aisha Curry hell for her comments on the NBA being rigged when Steph Curry got kicked out. He fouled out as fast as he did off in the fourth quarter last year in the finals. We killed her for it. So I feel like it's only right that we kill her for it, because she straight threatened. She said if she had been there, she would have castrated Richard Sherman. Basically, just straight on her Twitter page. Just on her Twitter page, you just follow her. She just basically says, "Hey, lucky I wasn't there. If a guy decides he wants to act like an animal on the forum, this is what we would do to him." She had posted a picture of the little castration tool that they use on the animals on the forum. And Richard Sherman being Richard Sherman, done his thing. He says, gave up the little laughing emoji icons and crying laughing emoji icons and said, "Hey, thank you so much. Have a good day." Which was about as classy as he could be, because I think I would have went at it hard.
I probably made jokes.
Right.
I think you're going a little nuts there.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. So,
no reason to go balls out here.
Tell me, balls on dope, huh? Kayla Carpenter, know your role, stay in your place. Really though?
Great show today. Look forward to more great shows, pick sixes, and maybe some NBA talk. Didn't really get much into it. Shout out to Oklahoma City Thunder. I called it. Told y'all they were gonna be good.
Triple-double. You're averaging a triple-double right now for fun.
Just on the regular.
Fellas, whatever you do, avoid Kayla Carpenter at all costs.
I'm saying. You should see my eyes right now. Very serious about this matter. That deserved a double, really, though. Can't be threatening people's manhood.
Yo. You think, needless to say, I think she got Dan Carpenter by the...
I mean, they sitting in a jar somewhere. As I said, great show. I'll see y'all next time. I'm Brian Epstein right here on the Sports Machine.
Peace out.